Hi folks, welcome back to the Carver's Wood Shop. I know it says baby shower, but I want to share something with you, especially if you're doing a wood carving show or if you're doing a anything that you need a sign for outside for directions and that kind of thing. I came up with a real clever idea that I think would be very helpful to a lot of people, and I'm just going to share it with you quickly. What this is just a piece of styrofoam piece that I cut in half. So there's two of these that I made. I needed to make two signs, and I put the sign of the baby shower in the center, as you can see, for the parking. Okay, but I didn't want to put holes in this to put it on a stick, and I'll share with you in a second how I did that. But the neat thing about this is I used the stick glue, and I put my sign on this board, and then when it was over, I only did half of it to show you, I took a hairdryer and pulled it right off. Okay, you see it right here? Okay, these come right off. If you use the hairdryer, there's hardly any residue on the board, so you can just pull it back off. The only thing I want to tell you is this is good for if it's not raining and it's indoors. You can do one or the other. But how do you stick this thing, this board, with whatever sign you have in the center? How do you do that? Well, the way I did it was I turned it over, and you'll see something kind of interesting. Let me flip this over here. What you see here is you see a piece of Velcro. Okay, and I got a stick with a piece of Velcro that I could hammer the stick in first into the ground and then put the Velcro on it. Well, I have the Velcro on it and then hammer it into the ground, put a point at the end with the bandsaw. Okay, it's a little dirty from being in the mud that I used it yesterday. And then you just take the stick and you lay it right on the Velcro. The two Velcros meet, of course. And you press on it a little bit, and there's your sign. Okay? Now this really, it has a little wiggle room, but it's really a sturdy, you can see I'm trying to pull it off. It's very sturdy. It has a little wiggle room, it's fine that way. But the nice thing about it is, if you need to make a different sign, you can use the hairdryer, take the old sign off, and then we'll put a new one on, and I'll put some Santas or something in the corner for something different. Okay, so it's just an idea, and you can make that stick any length you want. I had it close to the ground because we had it for parking near a stop sign in a development. So what you want to do is just pull this back off. You want to be careful. You're going to turn it just like so. Okay, that stays put, that stays put. You just put a new one on the front, which will be my carving, which will be the carving show coming up. And you can use this idea anywhere. If you want to put little signs up for your table and that, you can use this board and use a little bit of Velcro on your table or on a stand, on a stick that stays put. It's endless, the amount of things you can do with it. Okay, so this is just an idea for anybody that wants to make a sign for anything that they might need. But the only thing with this is if you do color with a printer, and I'm speaking as an inkjet refiller now. If you use color, it's going to run because it's a water base. But if you want to do it all in black, usually there are pigment ink in that, and that will not run if it rains. So it will stay up probably until after the event without any running and streaking. But if you're using color, it's always a water base. 90% of the time it's a water base ink, especially in the inkjets. Okay, that's just a little lesson on that. So if you're doing signs and you're doing them outside, make sure you use just black, and make sure it's in the black mode when you make the sign. Okay folks, thanks a lot for your help. I really enjoyed sharing this with you today. I was so excited when I figured out a way of making these signs without nails, with minimal investment. It's cost maybe a couple bucks and you can reuse it over and over again. Okay, take care, and I hope that's been helpful to many of you. Bye-bye.